Hello and welcome back to the channel. Now I've just come back from a ride on the Ashworth Overlander and I've had a really interesting time recently. Lots of things have happened. I think I'm ready for the world trip. I think I've got everything that I need, but I'm going to rewind and you can spend the day and I'll tell you all about it. So cue the intro.
This adventure is supported by Ashworth Automotive in Weston-super-Mare, the #1 garage keeping you and Helmet Head on the road.
Well, I want to run through a few updates just before I set off on the unbelievable world trip. Now while filming this, just over a week till I actually leave. I'm leaving on February the 15th, but I'm taking this bike, the Ashworth Overlander Monkey, as much of the world as I possibly can, and I'm going to ideally ride the entire world, and I can't wait to set off. Everything's gearing towards it. There is so much stuff at the minute where there's not a lot to tell you other than I'm preparing, but a few really cool things have happened to me in the last few weeks, as well as something that's not so cool that's had a little bit of an impact, but I'll explain all. So I want to start off with something really cool and really positive, because I had a message from a guy called Wookie, and if you don't know who Wookie is, I met him on my UK trip and he was part of the bike MCC that I visited when I saw Lee, and Lee did all the work. So this is called the this is the Ashworth Overlander, but it was done by a guy called Lee, who's got a YouTube channel called Nightcrawler666. And if you want to see more of this Wookie guy, he's on his channel, goes on lots of his adventures together. It's a great channel to watch and it's really funny. Obviously Lee channel, all the links are down in the description, as he very much supports me in this adventure. Now anyway, Wookie sent me a few messages, and one of them was when I was down there last, when we did the big reveal of the Ashworth Overlander, I had to go and stay in a travel lodge like a peasant, because I'm actually a British lord, and lords obviously stay in very nice places, but I had to stay in a travel lodge like a peasant. And because I was there like a peasant, because of the sidekick, because obviously I have to live like a peasant, I obviously had to drink peasant's wine, and there was a bottle of wine in the background of the shop that was a peasant's drink. And Wookie sent me a message to say to me basically, whoa, that wine you're drinking is, I won't use his exact words, is not up to a lord's standard. So Wookie recommended a few different types of wine, and one I'd actually tried, but one that I hadn't, and I said I will go on the hunt to find that bottle of wine and give it a try. Anyway, what Wookie did, what is fantastic and blew me away, because I've not had anything sent to me in a long time, he sent me a case basically of this wine, and I've got to say he's spot on. He knows his wines, because it's a reasonably priced wine with a fantastic smooth taste. Now this isn't a wine channel of course, but I am a lord and I enjoy a nice glass of red wine, and this has become my absolute go-to favourite wine already. So a massive thank you to Wookie, and to be honest, it really cheered me up, because I was having a bit of a rubbish week, and Wookie doesn't know about my rubbish week, but it really cheered me up, and I am enjoying every single sip of that wine. And when I run out, I'll now have to go and order more, so they're going to get a boost in sales thanks to Wookie. Like I said, go and check out Lee's channel, he's on there. Wookie's a really nice bloke and I massively appreciate it. So then I'm going to go on to not my such good news. I'm not going to go into detail about it, but obviously YouTube is part of what I do, but I also have to do another job to be able to fund all the adventures that this has, well, a chunk towards this adventures that I have on this channel. And I had a little bit of a bad experience in regards to we'll call it my day job. That means that at the moment I'm unable to do it, and I'm having a little bit of time, and it wasn't a nice experience, and I've got to kind of work my way through it and stuff like this. But what it meant is that I've suddenly got as much time as I need to get over what I had to go through, what's fine, but obviously it's given me a lot of time obviously by myself, and like I said, I am working my way through stuff at the minute. But what that also means is that obviously I work extra to earn money to help pay towards the big adventures of this trip. What means it's going to be a little bit of a harder month, is what I'm saying, especially when it comes down to the expenditures of of what it costs to be able to pull off the channel the way that I pull it off. Now, I'm extremely lucky, so I want to just say straight away, I have loads of channel members and patrons that help towards this channel, and they support this channel, and I love that, and that number continues to grow. What's really incredible, we've got stuff going on it like the patron meet and all this stuff coming up in summer. So I just want to say a massive thank you to them for supporting the channel, because their contribution is helping towards this world trip happen. And there's always stuff in the end of the day that you need to buy in regards to YouTube to keep up with stuff. Like obviously I've continued to improve my cameras, and I'm still running a MacBook now that I think is 6 or 7 years old that needs to be replaced. It's on my list, but it's down on the list because I can still edit, it just takes longer, stuff like that. So obviously all the money that I get from patrons and stuff like that goes towards the adventures and the kit and the continuous craziness. But a big part of how I fund it is down to my job and doing extra in between filming. I live quite a busy life, and at the minute I'm just taking a step back. What doesn't change the world trip, this is what's important. I'm still going. I've booked the Eurotunnel. I'm setting off on February the 15th, and I'm riding the length of France, and I'm going to wing a big chunk of France, because as long as I can hack down a good few miles in the first couple of days, I'm then going to start spreading out and seeing what I can find and taking my time. So it's going to be its own little epic. Leg 1 is the French side, what's coming up. So all that said and done, I am obviously, then I need to get myself back into my job, and I need to earn money to be able to afford the next leg. But anyway, I've been preparing the monkey bike, and what I mean by preparing the monkey bike, there's a few little things that I've done. So obviously, if you watch the UK trip, I had massive problems with charging my iPhone, and I went through cable after cable trying to run it off of the quad lock. But because I was plugging in cables, as soon as it gets a little bit wet, it basically burns the cable out and it's knackered. So I've got a quad lock wireless charger now. Now this, you can get the lead that runs straight into your battery, but what I've decided to do is run the lead into the 12 volt, where I can switch on and monitor the power, because I'll be going in February. Obviously it's still going to be cold, so I'll still be running heater gear, so obviously I don't want to over stress the battery or the bike, so I'll be making a bit of a compromise about heated gear and battery power and stuff like that. I still will carry power banks with me so I can charge my phone if necessary, and that's kind of my plan. So I've got that all sorted, and there's a couple of things that haven't arrived as of yet. So my panniers themselves, they are getting like a not waterproof, they are getting a slide proof cover for the tops, and obviously I'm putting some straps on. So my intention of that is, if there's anything I need to pick up, like when I'm in French, long French sticks and massive round circles of cheese, I could just strap them to the top of my panniers underneath the spider web style, I can't think, my brain's gone dead. You know what I mean, the bungee cord style thing, and then they won't slip around. Because the problem that you've got is if you don't do that, what you find is that you start, basically your stuff starts slipping around. What happened to me in the UK trip, I'm going to go this way, in the UK trip, I put oil and stuff on the back and it would move around a bit. That's a bit dodge. So my point of it is I can just chuck stuff into there, it won't slide around. I ordered them, what looked like they were coming quite quickly, now it's saying they're going to arrive after my trip. So they may not arrive, it's not a game changer. And I've also doing something about the air filter. It's obviously, the air filter on this and everything works, but I'm getting a different end to add onto the air filter, what's basically got a almost like a plastic thing with holes and stuff, so air will still flow through, but it's to stop water splash from happening. Try and give the air filter a little bit more protection on this itself, and that's still yet to arrive, but it will hopefully be here within the next week, what means I can get it done and put on in time. But what I have had is lots of stuff that I have ordered come in, and I've got what I call the really important stuff. So let me just go through what I've got in and what's important. So the stuff that has arrived, now I've not put this on yet, but I'm going to basically, I've shown this all over the Facebook page if you've not seen that, but basically I've got a 5 litre dry bag that will fold down, and inside that's going to be a first aid kit. Now originally I said it was just going to be a pants bag, but I've kind of thought about it and thought, well, there's plenty of room in it, so what I can do is put my first aid kit in there and then some pants in there, so I'm never ever going to have to just go with basically 2 pairs of pants and change after many days of riding. So that's going to be the pants and first aid kit, and my vision of it is if I come off of the bike anywhere in some country, on a mountain, on a hillside, if I put my first aid box in a pannier, I'm going to struggle to get to it. And then the point of it is that it's something I can just pull off the front of the bike. So that's where that's going. So this side obviously has got the fuel can on, and it's going to have my clothes pretty much in there. Is pretty much what that pannier is going to take mostly, because over in this side, this is my what I call my utility side, and inside here is my bag of really important stuff. Now, what is inside here is tyre repair kit. That is battery operated air pump that can run off of USB that I could plug in there and charge it if I needed. Emergency toolkit with probably all the sizes that I don't need, so I can fix my bike with my engineering skills on the side of the road. This here is a actually torch that plugs into a USB if I needed some light, but I can plug it into a power bank that I've got in case I need emergency lighting. Some spare fuses, random ones, probably there isn't a 10 in there, so probably all the wrong fuses. And then I've got my massive, but really cool, I say massive, it's not very big. This is a battery booster pack. It will go straight onto the battery. So when I return to my bike after it being sat there for 6+ weeks, I can start it if the battery's dead, or if I, run my battery down to heated gear, I've got a way to start it. And then of course, this 1,000 million mile an hour duct tape. Anything falls off, it gets duct taped on. Because that's really, forget all of this stuff, this is what you need. So I'm pretty sure I've got it covered with regards to almost tool survival stuff here on the left, and then obviously on behind me on the right hand, I don't know, the other way around, whichever way you would look at it, that's going to have obviously fuel can on the outside, and with fuel in for weight, and obviously some clothes stuff, so there won't be too much off. And like I said, food or snacks, whatever I need on top of that, plus be able to strap stuff to the top of the panniers, all my camera gear in the back, I'm pretty sorted. So obviously right now, as you can see, it's getting darker and darker and I'm on my way back. But earlier today, I've actually been out for a ride to meet a really good friend from my actual job work because of what's recently happened, and we've gone out and grabbed a bit of lunch together. But I went and I met him at a place called Pitsford Reservoir in Northamptonshire. And if you want to go out for a ride anywhere in that area, it's a great place to go and visit because it's got a cafe. You can park your bike without taking a space up. You don't have to pay for parking once you're actually there. There's a cafe, it's a busy place, but there's a cafe you can get food and drink in. But I'd go in there for a coffee. We went for a really nice walk, a stroll. Pitsford is definitely a place to go for a ride on the bike, for just somewhere to go and visit. I had a nice little walk, a nice little chat with my mate, and then we went off to a place called Brampton Holt, what's got a really old pub there that used to be a train station. That's where I'd recommend you go and get some food if you're going out for a ride as well. Anywhere in that area, two cool places. But as you can see, the sun is going down. I'm pretty sure the bike is sorted. I've got some potentially cool stuff going to be happening, as obviously the world trip's going to keep building. Loads of stuff is going to keep building for the world trip. There's going to be hopefully some more gear I'll get to review as I go along a little bit for some of the legs of the journey. I've been not officially, but should be invited, if all goes according to plan, to something else that's going to happen that will make the trip even more next level. And I'm sure that will continue throughout every part of this world trip adventure, because the UK trip, it just kept developing and developing with all these stops, these people I met, and the world trip's going to be no different. Some of the stuff I've already got people wanting to meet me and do stuff. It's going to be an adventure like no one else has ever done, because I'm going to involve as many people and as many places as want to get involved, as much as I can in regards to how I'm doing the world trip section by section, leg by leg. But it's all coming to plan. That's the most important thing of all. The bike's good, I'm good. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to play you, that's nice, I'm going to play you I'm sorry, I just got that car put out in front of me, I'm not saying anything, stay chilled. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to play you a little bit of riding the bike in dusk, and I'm going to play you a little bit from my walk at Pitsford. I can't wait to start this world trip. I just can't wait. There's nothing else going through my head right now in regards to stuff I want to do more than I want to set off on this world trip and get it going. Obviously, I'm taking some brandy in a flask and a watch to my dad where I'm going to be leaving my bike in France, and I've got ample time, I hope, to get across France, and also taking so much cool stuff if I do what I want to do. But watch the episodes, they will be coming. I'll be setting off. And I'll always say the same, if anybody sees me, wants to ride with me, everyone's welcome. They always are. This is going to be epic. This is going to be good. Enjoy my little bit of footage from today, and hopefully we'll be setting off and you're about to see the start of a life-changing, epic, never seen before adventure. It's going to go on for years.
Oh baby, I love your madness. It's so incredibly beautiful. Oh, you shine like gold, so selfless to all, and wild like an animal. Some would say I'm insane in the right in a way, but I just love to play in your fun and your games. Always hungry for more, that's just how I was born. Take me somewhere I don't know, and give me your freedom. Whoa, you love me to pieces, yeah I need it. Want your pandemonium, life is so easy. Whoa, you love me to pieces, yeah I need it. Want your pandemonium.